So this is another one of these, I don't even know what you even want to call this segment right here. I don't know if you want to call it Ride with Ty, whatever like that, but there was some of you guys that did exactly what I wanted you to do by leaving comments on a particular subject or matter that you want me to expound upon. And at work, a bunch of fellas and ladies were all talking about a particular subject that came up, and I actually had to write it down. So anyway, what they said is they wanted to see what I thought about why, how am I gonna word this? Y'all ever heard that saying, well, there goes a neighborhood? That's what I was asked. I was like, yeah, I heard that before. And he's like, do you know what that means? I'm like, I guess it means like, you know, people are trashing the neighborhood, making it look dirty. And they're like, no. That's what people said when black folks started moving in. It's like, oh boy, here we go. So anyway, I got somebody at work. I'm not gonna mention his name, but he always comes with certain things that he likes me to take a look at, or what you think about this, or what you feel about this, man. Look at this, look at that. So anyway, there's this thing that they said white people leave neighborhoods when black people move in. And I was like, I was kind of lost on, like, I don't understand, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, when black people start to move into good neighborhoods, then the white people end up leaving. So I was just kind of like, oh, well, I never really looked at it or paid it no attention like that. I guess in this particular case, it worked out pretty good, because I guess it kept me from having to see things in a particular manner, how somebody wanted me to see it. So that was what they pretty much said. And then, of course, by me saying, like, I don't really know, they was like, okay, well, where did you grow up at? Where did you live? Of course, they already knew that. And I answered it, told them where I grew up in different areas that we lived in. We lived in Chicago, Central Illinois, and Decatur, which Decatur is pretty much like baby Chicago. But anyway, they were like, okay, so name the areas that you lived in compared to where you live at now. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, so we moved and to different areas, whatever. And sure enough, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, where I moved to, there were a lot of white people there. And a few times there were no black people there at all. There were like pretty much like, there were blacks there, a few, but I didn't look at it that particular way. I didn't look at it like, so what pretty much what they tried to say is like, in other words, they said, well then why did you move to the white neighborhoods, which made me kind of like the white neighborhoods? Well, all I know is this. I have me as an individual. I have a particular life that I dreamed about living when I was a kid. And it definitely wasn't no hood life of where I came from. It definitely wasn't like projects, brick buildings, apartments, anything like that. It was going to be a nice neighborhood. I told you guys before, and I'm just giving a shout out. Keith Anderson took us riding in the van before around to neighborhoods that we've never been to before, never even seen, never experienced. And I just remember seeing these kids riding their bikes in the middle of the street. The grass was super green. The houses wasn't like mended together. They had their windows open. You could see the people eating dinner in their house. And from that point on, I remember looking at that. And of course, I compared that to how I lived and the areas that we grew up in, different things like that. And of course, I thought to myself, I want that type of lifestyle. Now, I wasn't saying that in my mind like, oh my God, I don't want to grow up around black people. I only want to move around white people. I looked at that lifestyle and said, that's what I want for myself and also for my future children. And also I wanted that for my future wife. So it had nothing to do with, how come you don't want to stay in a black neighborhood? Well, why did you move out of a black neighborhood? It had nothing to do with it. It had everything to do with, I wanted to move somewhere that looked like that. But, and a huge but, if you wanted to break it down, then that's when we started getting real. I was like, why wouldn't I want to move to the area where we grew up at. I don't know. How many people did we see get killed? How many stories did we always hear about our next door neighbor, them house getting broken into? Y'all better watch out for you guys' house. Crackheads walking around scratching, trying to sell you clothes and shoes to my managers here. I'll give you these shoes right here for $3. Just give me $3. And, you know, seeing men beat women. And unfortunately, it just happened to be in the black neighborhood that this is going on. And it had nothing necessarily to do with the fact that it was black people that was doing it. It's just that where it was happening, that there was nothing there but black people. So I'm just calling it like it was. If I was a white guy that grew up and had the same lifestyle that I have, I would call it just like that. Like, it had nothing to do with me. Now, see, that's what I'm saying. People are like, well, that's just kind of racist. You're just saying all black people. No, not all black people, but where I grew up at, those black people. Not all black people. Come on, give me a break now. Don't try to be. That's what they try to do. They try to trap you with doing that. So what? You kind of being like this towards your own kind. Okay, first of all, that's what I said. Then I get kind of kingdom-minded. That's when the superior-minded thinking kicks in with who I serve. Well, first of all, my people is whoever God's people are, and whoever His people is, that's my people. So it ain't got nothing to do with no skin color. It got everything to do with blood. Anyway, yeah, the blood of Jesus. So if you are of that blood, even if you're not, it's all God's people. I look at people the same way He does. I don't care what color, whatever you are. But anyway, to get back to this, that's what happens. Is like people, oh man, you just trying to be difficult. No, I'm not. I'm just calling it like it is. Those black folks that I grew up around and was in the neighborhoods and stuff that we grew up around, the thugs, the killers, the murderers, the crackheads, the prostitutes, you know, that's where we grew up at. And of course I didn't want to grow. I didn't want to live that lifestyle, to be around that stuff when I got older. Who would? I don't care what race you are. Who would want to be around that now? In my mind, I've always kept that dream of this is where I want to, you know, live. This type of lifestyle is where I want to live. I don't want to be where my house is actually connected to somebody else's house. I don't want to be to where, you know, you always, come on now, there's no sense of safety. And so at the same time, it busted them wide open when I said I'm more likely to be killed by my own than I am to be killed by the people in the white neighborhood. I mean, when I moved to what you want to call a white neighborhood, I don't even want to call it that. I said, no, a better neighborhood. When I moved to a better neighborhood, guess what? There was no crime there like it was there. And you will find out real crazy. No, I'm sorry. You will find out that they got issues in the good neighborhoods too. You had men that were executives like that. I'm just gonna throw it out there because the store doesn't exist no more. There was an owner of K's Merchandise. If everybody know what that is, it's a jewelry store. Real prestigious man. I mean, he had like the biggest house in this particular area. And the dude not only was a cheater, having multiple affairs on his wife, but he beat his wife. So to me, I found out that once I got into that life of being what y'all might want to call in the white neighborhoods, there's crazy issues there too. But it lessened my chances of being killed. And when we moved there, nobody was funny acting or anything like that. They responded just like we did when somebody moved new to our neighborhood. When we stayed in the hood, if some new people moved in, we acted the same way that the white people in the white neighborhoods, y'all want to call her, in the good neighborhoods, they acted. Matter of fact, I take that back. When we moved in, actually, the white neighbors actually greeted us and had questions like, you know, oh, you know, welcome to the neighborhood, you know. They started just explaining everything. Well, welcome to the neighborhood. I don't know if you guys know anything about this area, but we have, you know, we have a pool, we have a community this, we have a this and that, we have this going on, we do this, and the person down to the third house, she always have these. So you felt welcome. Now, we moved almost every year when I was a kid growing up, okay? And when we moved, shoot, we didn't get in our neighbors, we didn't even get talked to for like at least a good 2 months before we even knew who our neighbors was or anything. Because people weren't about speaking, if y'all want to get real. And that's what I said, y'all want to get real. In the black neighborhood, there wasn't no speaking or talking or welcoming you to the neighborhood. It was almost like, well, now they got to watch us. this woman moving in with 4 boys. I hope one of them little bastards ain't get ready to try to steal or something. I hope one of them little bastards ain't about to try to fight with one of our kids. The only way we found out who our neighbors were is because me and my brothers then probably went to school with one of their kids, and me and them became friends. So of course they ended up telling their parent about us, things like that, like, oh, he's in my class and X, Y, and Z, and that's how we ended up becoming acquainted with that's how we became acquainted with some of our neighbors. But at the same time, again, that's what I told them. When I start saying things like, oh man, you know, where I grew up at, there was fights. Oh yeah, me too. Man, we seen people getting shot. Oh, I seen a person get shot. Man, then this used to be these guys, man, they would be beating these women up, man. Oh yeah, we had that where I grew up at too, man. So when you grew up at in the Chicago or Decatur area, man, we had the same thing down here too, man. We had that going on too. And yet, you think that that's like a cool thing, you want to stay there. That's what I told them. So we saying all these things about what we've been through, what we experienced, and yet you think it's wrong that I want to move to a better neighborhood that just happen to be dominantly white people that live there? No. So anyway, let me see. And so that's what I told them. It ain't that when I move to a neighborhood that you want to consider I moved to a white neighborhood. It's just that where I moved to, it just happened to be more white people there. That's all. That's all it is, man. And none of these people, and then, you know, none of these people, oh, well, here goes some black folks moving in, let's move, because an area that we moved to before, me and my family was, we was about the 3rd black couple that moved to this neighborhood. And then next thing you know, over the course of years, more black people started moving in there into these houses that were already available, not no houses that they moved in on because white people moved out. And there was no exodus of white people moving out because black people moved in. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know who this particular message right here would be for, but it's like a lot of times things can be brought upon you and you can be taught to see only what you want to see without actually getting the truth of the matter. You know what I'm trying to say? Because that could have just turned real bad to a thing where, you know, they're trying to make it like it's a racial thing. I mean, we don't know when people move, you don't know why they move. Like, golly, when we moved out of the neighborhood, we moved because we just moved. Like I said, we moved every year. My mom would find a house somewhere and we would move like almost every year. Now, we moved every year. Now, if we moved to a better area that was better than the area we came from, and all of a sudden, somebody want to say, oh, y'all bougie, y'all think y'all all that because y'all don't want to live here. Well, that is just so crazy to me. It should be something different. Whenever you see somebody coming out of like the hood, the ghetto, and they move to a better area, it's sad that you get mad at them and want to call them stuck up and bougie because they're doing something better with their lives. If anything, you should be encouraging. That's right, man. Good on. I'm glad y'all up there. And let me know how it is living up there. And let me know if there might be something in the area that we can move into as well. No, it's not that it's like, oh yeah, they think they too good to stay. No, I want to live long. I don't want to have the average lifespan of most people up there by Chicago or in Decatur, the age of 25. That's crazy. The lifespan of a young black man in those areas like that is the age of 25. Yeah, but I want to stay there just so I can show that I'm still down, I'm still hard, I'm still hood, you know, come on guys, y'all get real. What? If you about that life and the hood life is very appealing to you and it doesn't bother you, then by all means, stay there. I'm not gonna hate on you for staying there. There's a lot of people I know, like, you know, we got people that in some of the hoods we lived in, these people were already, to us, you know, they were probably at the time they were in their early 30s, but you know, when you a kid, everybody is old, right? So we had people that lived in these areas when they were middle-aged adults, and they still live there to this day, and now they're older. They still live in the hood area, and the thing is, to them, they're just like, you know, this is fine. I mean, all my kids are grown, out the house, nobody bothers me. Yeah, I know crime happens over here and down the street, but I've been here for 30 years, ain't nobody bothering me, so I'm just fine here. And then you got other people that they don't do nothing for themselves. They still they don't got jobs, they don't have any source of income coming in. They fine with being on the welfare system and not really doing anything. But if you are one of those people that's doing that, don't hate on the ones that's actually working hard and doing something with their lives, increasing their lives, and then you want to get mad because they decided to do that and want to call them bougie or stuck up or funny acting. I got buddies right now. I'll sometimes go back down, you know, of course, I tell people all the time, if you grew up in that type of situation, that lifestyle, you grew up there, I don't act bougie or nothing like that. They know I go right back down to the hood, talk with my boys, talk with my friends, but yet when they start saying things like, hey man, hey, you know, I know you got it, let me borrow, Now, you can get mad all, you can get mad at me all you want to. But you know I'm not about to let you borrow no $100. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it because I worked to get it. And even though I probably have an abundance more of it, I ain't about to give it to you. You doing the same thing you doing when we was 17 years old, man. Still asking for money. How come you ain't working? How come you ain't got a job by now? What you mean, borrow $100? How you gonna give it back to me? You know what I'm saying, y'all? So that's the type of person that I am. I keep it real. I don't care that I got it. You right, I got it. And then you want to get mad at me because I don't want to give it to you. But guess what, dude? I had to work to get that $100 and work to build and save that $100. And now I should give it to you just because I got it? Nuh-uh. I'm not bougie, but I am real. So anyway, I think that's the main thing I want to hit on right there. And like I said before, you know, we've dodged many shootouts, many bullets, many fights. You know, accidental, you know, kids in our neighborhood accidentally getting shot and all that. We happen just to be, by the grace of God, to dodge that and to want to move out of that area into a better area. If there's any young black people out there that's listening to this right now, young man, young woman, you want to better your life, you know what you need to do? And I don't care how stupid that the hood try to make you feel with what I'm saying. Man, that's some lame stuff. That dude lame. That's some, man, nobody doing that lame stuff right there. I want you to envision where you want to be. Envision where you want to go. How you want to live your life, okay? I really want you to take some time and think about where you want to live, how you want to live, what you want your home to look like, all that. Envision that realistically, okay? Once you do that, write it down on a piece of paper and keep it with somewhere where it's personal, where only you can see it, okay? Keep it in there, guys, keep it in the wallet, girls, keep it in your purse, whatever you want to call it, your billfold, your pocketbook, whatever it is, keep it in there, okay? And every week or every month, it depends on how much you want to look at it, take it out and read it. Believe that. Keep that in your mind. Let it stay there. Watch how crazy it goes when God starts to put people in your life that's going to help you get to that. Especially if that's what you want to do. The right people seems to come along at the right time in your life to get you to that point to where you want to get. It happened with me. I prayed about it. I kept that little card, what I wanted, how I wanted to live, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to be. I didn't have to really work to get it. It just seemed like the things just got placed along when people came in my life. People came along in my life to help get me to where I want to go. It will happen just like that for you.